Hey everyone, it's Wingspan TT, and today I want to make a video to show off some fittings for exploration ships in HiSec. Now I know previously I'd put together an exploration guide on toptiertactics.com. This guide shows off everything you need to do exploration correctly, from how to scan down sites, to how to find the sites, how to actually do the hack, how to get the loot, how to get back safely, all that stuff. But one thing that I realized that was wrong with my guide is that it was wholly centered on nullsec. Well, nullsec is very profitable. I know a lot of new explorers are starting out in high security space. They're starting on high security space because they don't have a lot of skill points, they don't have a lot of experience, and they're afraid they're going to get killed out there in nullsec and wormhole space, and I totally understand that. Now I know there are plenty of videos that already talk about exploration. I've seen Johnny Pugh's videos, how to fit a ship for beginner exploration HiSec space, but I want to do the same thing with my own personal take on it, to kind of talk about what I think is important for fitting a ship for high security exploration, for getting out there, for making sure that you're getting the most out of exploring in HiSec. So why don't we just take a little stroll and we'll talk about the fittings. Now a lot of people always ask me things like, Wingspan, what ship should I pick for exploration? I know that you've always preferred the Astero in the past, the Astero is very light. You could go in with Tech 2, but I don't have the skill points for Tech 2. I don't like the fittings in Astero. I wish I had more space, and that's why I'm going to be recommending the Nestor battleship. The Nestor battleship for HiSec exploration. I've given it a lot of thought, and I think that new players, especially players who are completely new to the game, for them this is the ship that's going to give them the best chance at making their money in their career in EVE at exploration. You can see here, of course, that if we enter the ship hangar to get a better view of it, the ship is absolutely beautiful. It's very reminiscent of a 1960s, 1970s spaceship aesthetic, which doesn't really do anything for you as far as exploration goes, but of course that just means you feel good about it. Now let's bring up the HUD, and we're going to talk about the modules you're going to need to start, if you're like day 2 in your career of exploration, what you're going to need to get out there. Down here in the low sec slots, you'll see that we have nanofiber internal structure. So your ship moves faster, which is very important in exploration sites. You want to move around the sites, get to the cans faster, and it aligns faster, turns faster, which means you explore space faster, you get through systems faster, and of course you can escape anyone who wants to hurt you a lot faster. We also have a damage control too, and again you can substitute this for any damage control that you'd like. You're not going to be damaged by players, but if someone decides they're going to try to gank you, or maybe you just accidentally bump into an NPC or something like that, a pirate, and this is one of the main advantages, by the way, of using a Nestor battleship. Here I'm spinning the fake ship instead of the real one, instead of a much smaller ship. A frigate class ship may have 1,000 effective hit points, maybe 2,000 if you're lucky. This has 20 times that. So you can live 20 times longer and stay out there exploring for as long as you need to. Here we have a Data Analyzer 1, which of course is for data sites. Here we have a Relic Analyzer 2. And once again, if you haven't skilled to this, I understand that new players do not have the skill points. And if you see anything on here that you can't fit, if you're like, Wingspan, I don't have the skill points for that, then certainly go for the 1. And that's part of why I picked the Nestor. It's very low in skill point requirements. You only need Galente Battleship 1 and Amar Battleship 1. And that should only take about maybe 4 days to train, possibly 5 days. And for that, you get a 50% scan strength bonus. Whereas if you were going to use something like an Astero, that's only 37.5%. And if you were going to use something like a Helios, which is a tier 2 frigate, yes, you get 50%, but it requires that you train frigates to 5 and covert ops to 5. And that is more. That's like almost a 3-week train. You can be sitting in this thing in 3 to 4 days, depending on exactly how you have your attributes set up. Let's move on here. We got a cargo scanner, so you can scan the different containers. So when you're doing a hack, you know which ones to do first, or which ones are worth it. Or if you find a ghost site, you figure out which ones have the cooler loot in it. We have a scan pinpointing array, and this can really be any scan array that you want. If you want to use a range finding or acquisition array, totally understandable. You would need one of the scan skills set to 5 if you want to get 2. So I don't have that. I don't expect you to have that as a relatively new player. I know the biggest obstacle for new players is skill points, so we have the 1 here. Now here we have 2 prop modules, and let's talk about this real quick. First we have micro warp drive 100 I believe it's meganewtons. I believe that's what the MN stands for. And what this means is that with the nanofibers and with this thing on, and you'll see it says cap, we'll get to cap in a second, you can move at 1,500 meters a second. And if you overheat, you can move it more than 2 kilometers a second, which is very fast. That even outpaces many frigates. You can move between cans very quickly. You can finish the exploration sites quickly, especially in high sec. There's a lot of competition. And when you land on grid, people are probably going to be a little, they're going to think, whoa, a Nestor. Wow, this guy's trying to outscan me in the site. I better get to all the sites before him. Well, you have your micro warp drive. You can blow this baby on and just power right past them and start hacking with your relic and data analyzers. Now down here is the large micro jump drive. And when you activate this, your ship moves 100 kilometers in the direction you're facing. So even in the largest sites where you're like, oh man, the next can is like 80, is really far away. It's 80 kilometers away. Boom, large micro jump drive, just land right there. Because you have all these modules, you can turn around really fast, you can align really fast, and you just jump over. In the high slots, over here, which is the most important thing, is a Sisters expanded launcher. I also, in the bay, I have normal core scanner probes. And the whole point of this is the Sisters probes and probe launcher have bonuses to scan strength. So again, you scan much faster, you scan faster. But the point is that unlike most frigates, you can fit an expanded probe launcher no problem. And what that buys you is combat scanner probes that let you scan down things. They let you scan down drones that are left in space, probes that are left in space, structures like mobile tractor units and mobile depots and things like that, as well as other players. And why would you be scanning down other players? It's not to engage in combat. This is high sec, all right? This is all above board. There's no piracy here. Not that anyone, I don't know why anyone would even think that, because I've never engaged in piracy. But the reason you want to scan down other players is for salvage, because if you can find players doing missions like a level 4 mission, you can jump into their mission and salvage all their wrecks, and nothing will happen to you, because salvaging is not a criminal act. You can salvage anything you want. And that's why in the highs here we have 3 tractor beams and 3 salvagers. In the drone bay, I've also, let's see, how do I open the drone bay here? I've put in salvage drones. And the drone bay is gigantic, by the way. And I have some drones here for my own protection, in case someone got any crazy ideas about trying to jump onto my Nestor. But mainly salvage drones. And what you really want to do is get a couple drones for protection and then fill the rest of the hold to salvage drones. And you can fit up to, I believe, 100 salvage drones in your drone bay. And for this fit, I would highly recommend 100 salvage drones. Now let's talk about the rig slots. Over here, we have a large gravity capacitor upgrade. And this is great for new players, because new players don't have high-level astrometrics or astrometric range finding skills. So this gives them a big bonus so they can find the sites faster and get there sooner. Here we got large polycarbon engine housing 1. Again, this increases speed and makes your ship more agile. And finally here we have a large transverse bulkhead. This increases your base hit points in structure. And as a result, I have a little bit more extra hit points in padding, and it's completely worked out. So I hope everyone understands the point of this fit. You can see exactly why this is newbie friendly. This is all meant to make it so you can get to the locations as fast as possible, scan them down as fast as possible, and then of course start making your career in EVE Online. Get in there and start cracking the cans open and doing the hard work of exploration. Why don't we take it for a spin? And we see, first of all, the Nestor undocking. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful ship. I think everyone can agree this is one more plus to the Nestor. We have the huge drone bay, the huge cargo capacity, the beauty of the ship, the scan bonuses, the low skill requirements. It's really just a perfect exploration ship for someone starting out. And watch this align speed. Absolutely gorgeous. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we already see that at 4 seconds we're well past the 75% speed mark. That's just unprecedented in a battleship. Absolutely unprecedented. And I've set a course here through a little bit of high security space, because again, this is for new players. New players need to be staying in high sec. They don't need to be venturing out into low sec or null sec where it's possible they could be losing their ships. The last thing that I would ever want in this game is for someone to take like some kind of risk and try to go out there and make the big money. This is for safe playing, which is what new players should be doing. And as we come into Satuban, we're going to see there is a cosmic signature here. So what I like to do is just align here, and I'm actually going to be reloading into core scanner probes because they're best for normal, for absolutely normal scanning. And this is just because if any funny business happens, I can just warp over there. And actually, let me just show you something. Right now, moving at 100 meters a second. We can bump this up, of course, now going up to 1,500 meters a second. It takes a little while to spool up, but it's absolutely very, very fast. Very fast for a battleship. And we now see if I overheat this module, we're going to be moving up to an... Oh, shit, this guy is bad news. This guy's bad news. Look at that. We're just going to move away. That's what I'm talking about. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's no reason to be sticking around while pirates do their thing around here. It's just no... I don't want to get blown up by a pirate. I don't think this guy wants to blow me up. But I just think... Again, we're in an O5 system. We got to play... You know what? We'll just turn on the DCU. So meanwhile, we're going to be launching the probes. Launching the scanner probes. And begin our scanning. Now we see here that the site is over here. I'm going to center on it. I'm going to center vertically and horizontally, okay? And this is how explorers should be doing this with their, of course, new ship. Going to bring this down. And I think, you know, the scanning strength and pinpointing of the ship is so good that I feel completely confident, by the way, to zoom into 1 from 8. And I think we're just going to nail this right now. And we see here there's a wormhole. Now, I don't plan to go through the wormhole because, of course, that would be leaving high security space. But I just want to go warp to it and see if there's anything interesting there. Now again, I'm not going to be going into this wormhole because why would anyone ever go into a wormhole? But I'm going to just check it out, deep space, Star Trek Voyager style. Just take a look at it, and you will admit it's very beautiful. And I encourage new players to look at other players' wormholes, but never to enter another player's wormhole without their permission. And if you have a fitting that you want to share with the new players of New Eden, to tell them how they can set up their Nestor for the ideal high-sec exploration, please share that, because once again, I'm not the expert on everything. I do have a lot of experience, but I'm sure other players also know better. Here we go. We found a combat site. Don't want to go into combat sites. Combat sites risk damage to your ship, and damage to your ship could blow up your ship. Now, the one thing you never want to do in EVE is to lose your ship, because that would be, I mean, just think about the money you put into your ship. I know that money is not really like a main obstacle, but it's something you want to consider. And there's also a lot of emotional damages caused when you lose a ship. That's something you may never recover from. I know that high-sec exploration means patience, because there are a lot of players in high-sec. You can go through systems, there could be dozens or even hundreds of players in a system, and a lot of them are explorers just like you, looking to make their way around New Eden. They're probably all flying their own Nestors, which of course makes sense for what they're doing, but you have to get there first, and you have to keep your eyes open and keep looking for new opportunities. We have one signature over here. This is another scan trick that I think newbies are going to love when they're piloting their Nestors and looking for tips, is that when you see 2 of these dots come up at once, it's always the farther dot. So move your probes over the farther dot, recenter vertically, recenter horizontally, and then bring in once again. Let's see over here. This signature looks juicy. I really hope it's a Relic or data site. It is a Relic site. This is great. What an awesome day. Guys, this is absolutely what we're looking for. And when you're starting your career in exploration with your new ship, I think you're going to be filled with excitement just like I am. Uh-oh, there's a crucifier here. What is this guy doing here? And an impel. I don't even know what these ships are, but they sound very scary. They sound like ships that could be very dangerous to my battleship. Even though the word battle is in it, I am not fit for combat. I think I'm going to try to have to show these guys that they can't just terrorize me. So I'm going to try to lock them so they make sure that I know that, well, I'm not really going to fight them, but if they want to fight, I'm going to protect myself. Yeah. That's right, you're a meanie. Get out of here, Legion. Get out of here, meanie. Go home to your wormhole, please. That'll teach him. Alright, let's check out this Relic site. Oh no, he's locking me. Just to keep things safe, I'm just going to warp away to this Relic site and go away, far away. Bye-bye, meanie. Stay away from my ship. Look at that. From the front, it looks kind of like a cross. Does a cross remind you of anything? Alright, no one else has found this site yet, so we're going to be rich. Now let me show you just how cool the jump drive is, in case you've never seen one before. We're going to start aligning, and once our ship is moving, your ship can be moving, we're going to activate the large micro jump drive. You'll see your ship is going to start flexing its space muscles. It's going to be flexing super hard as it be getting ready to jump over. And once the module actually activates, we're going to be jumping 100 kilometers away. And now we're only 8,000 meters from the Grissa's debris, and we're still moving. And as I activate my micro warp drive real fast, we can see that I'm going to get in range very, very quickly. And now we're ready to start a hack and to start making some money. This is what high-sec exploration is all about. Oops! Sorry, didn't see you there. This is going to be a doozy. Is it this one? Is it this one? Oh no, it's a virus blocker. We're going to have to move down in the other direction. Oh no! Why won't it let me hack? All I want to do is find the core so we can get our loot. Oh, there we go. And then you click it several times, and now you can access the core and you can take the loot. Let's find out what we've gotten. You actually have to be a little bit closer than where I am. I believe you have to be within 2500. And we found a damaged artificial neural network. That sounds really exciting. I think this is going to slowly be paying off some of the expensive modules we have, like the Salvager 1, and we're just going to put that into our exploration vessel. And now we're going to move towards our next target. Now, one thing I didn't show you before, which I feel bad, oops, oh no, we bumped it again, is that we can actually lock a couple of these things, and we can start moving in that general direction. But what I didn't show you is that we can run the cargo scanner. So we can cargo scan this module and find out what's inside of it. This one's got carbon, which isn't very good, although I'd certainly take it. This one's got what's inside of it. Let's find out. Nothing. Definitely not going to be hacking that one. And the third one, let's find out what's behind door number 3. This is what EVE Online is all about. It's got many more treasures. So we're going to move towards this. I'm going to activate my micro warp drive, and once again I'm actually going to overheat it so we move faster, and we're going to find we're moving very, very fast. We're going to be there in no time. This Grissa's debris has no clue what it's in for because it's messing with Chance Ravine, the #1 explorer in New Eden. We can now begin our relic hack, and we're going to make the most money possible because we've already scanned it down and we know that it's got loot that's worth our time. Uh-oh, I missed the power up. Here we go. Look at that. That was quick. Jeepers. And once again, we're gonna access it. We're gonna stop the ship. It's spinning around like a silly goose right now. We're gonna take our loot, and that's it. So everyone, once again, I'm Wingspan TT from TopTierTactics.com. I'm putting this video together because I know lots of people have been messaging me asking, how do I get a start as an explorer in EVE Online? What do I have to do? I hope that in this video you saw exactly how you can fit your ship, exactly how you can find your sites and go about hacking them, and of course what ship to use, and that's the Sisters of Eve Nestor battleship. That's NESTOR. I hope you found this video useful. I hope you get out there and start exploring in high security space too, and until next time, cheers.